Here's more wrestling news for August 29th, 2022. And we're starting off this afternoon with WWE, as not too long ago, it was reported that the company would be moving Raw to a TV-14 rating after 14 years of being a PG show. Unfortunately, those reports were somewhat premature, as it was later clarified that this was something WWE was considering, and more recently, it said that the move is unlikely to happen. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer addressed the conflicting reports and said that the decision not to go TV-14 likely came from the top. That's not going to happen now yet. Vince maybe was considering it. Stephanie's thing is, we don't need it, and they don't. Before, when things were down, things were declining, you kind of go, what can we do to reverse the decline? When things are going up and they haven't done it. It was added that AEW uses a TV-14 rating, but that promotion has struggled to keep up with WWE in terms of ratings, especially post-Vince McMahon, so why should WWE deviate from what's working? Fans were excited when news first broke of the move to TV-14, but it wasn't meant to be, and while WWE's product has improved in recent weeks, it's nothing to do with a change of rating. Earlier this year, Austin Theory's name was shortened to just Theory as part of a rule against real names implemented by Vince McMahon. Given that Theory's real name is Austin White, McMahon had the name changed, alongside others including Walter, Pete Dunne, and Tommaso Ciampa. Now though, McMahon is gone, and so too could be his rule banning the use of real names. PW Insider reports that this past weekend's WWE live events, Mr. Money in the Bank was billed as Austin Theory once more, using the name that he last uttered on TV back in April of this year. It's unclear if this was an error at an untelevised event, or if Theory really is getting his first name back, but it's worth noting that on Instagram, his handle is Austin_Theory. As the current holder of the Money in the Bank contract, Theory is seemingly destined to be a future world champion soon, and whatever name he uses, fans will be hearing plenty of it in the coming years. At SummerSlam, after over a year away, Bayley returned to WWE TV alongside the recently rehired Dakota Kai and NXT call-up Io Sky. Together, the trio have been dominant on Raw, proving the old adage that there's strength in numbers, but the group may soon be expanding. Speaking on After the Bell, Bayley was asked about the possibility of adding more members and teased that anything is possible. It wasn't exactly a full-on guarantee that the group will soon have more members, but with WWE's new creative direction, we can't rule out the idea either. We've got an update from Cain Velasquez now, as the former UFC heavyweight champion is facing some serious jail time if convicted of the attempted murder charge against him. Velasquez was arrested 6 months ago on a bunch of felonies, including firing a weapon at a vehicle but hitting someone other than his intended victim. Velasquez has pled not guilty to the charges against him, and when his lawyer Mark Garagos spoke to Court TV, he promised some surprises ahead of Cain's pre-trial hearing next month. Garagos also argued that they have more than proved that Velasquez is not a danger to the community, saying it is perplexing that he's being kept in jail before his trial begins. The UFC legend has been denied bail 3 times, though the person he attempted to shoot, who is alleged to have assaulted Velasquez's son, is out, but also awaiting trial on September 20th. If found guilty, there's a long list of potential punishments for the former, albeit brief, WWE superstar, including a life sentence, and we'll keep following this case for updates. Last week, Patrick Clark, aka Velveteen Dream, made it clear that he's looking to return to WWE after being released last year. Clark was accused of sending explicit photos to minors, and while WWE claimed their investigation turned up no evidence, Clark was released in May 2021, 5 months after his last match. On Instagram, Clark added the hashtag #BringBackVelveteenDream to his bio, but one superstar in particular is against the idea. When Carmelo Hayes frustrated his frustration about not having a match at the upcoming NXT Worlds Collide show, one fan suggested he face Velveteen Dream, and Hayes straight up rejected the idea with a "hell nah." Fans were pleased to see the reigning NXT North American champion refuse to work with Clark, who admitted that the photos sent to minors were of him, but claimed that his account had been hacked. We'll have to see if Carmelo Hayes does indeed get a match at Worlds Collide, which will also mark the end of NXT UK, but he'd rather have no opponent than step in the ring with Velveteen Dream. Over to AEW, as it's been reported that there's been tension with CM Punk backstage, and if so, it would hardly be the first time something like this has happened. From 2011 to 2013, Punk was WWE champion for 434 days, but was never the guy, as the company insisted on pushing John Cena over him, causing conflict between the two backstage. One person who was there at the time was Freddie Prinze Jr., who on his podcast said that Punk hated what Cena represented and gave some sage words by Triple H. I remember one time Hunter saying, "As different as they are, the reason he hates John Cena so much is because he knows if he was in that same spot, he would act in the exact same way." Prinze added that Triple H was 100% correct in his assessment of Punk, that if he was bigger than the WWE champion, he'd gladly take the spotlight away from the title like Cena did, saying that the game just knows. While CM Punk lost the AEW World title last week, a rematch with Jon Moxley is still expected to headline this Sunday's All-Out pay-per-view, and we imagine the reports of backstage tensions with Punk are far from over. During a recent promo, Punk claimed that Moxley was always the worst member of his groups and even made reference to the latter's time in the Shield. Of course, these days Moxley can be found as part of the Blackpool Combat Club and has a positive spin on being the worst. Speaking on Cincy 360 from his hometown of Cincinnati, Ohio, Moxley explained that if he's the worst in the Blackpool Combat Club, then that's great, as he wants to learn from the guys better than him. Moxley specifically called Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli two of the best wrestlers today, praised William Regal as his real-life mentor, and is excited that the group has taken Wheeler Yuta under their wing. Moxley may be the worst in the Blackpool Combat Club, at least according to CM Punk, but that only means he gets to learn from the best, and if Moxley is indeed the worst, then we can't help but wonder what Punk makes to his 3-minute loss to the worst member of the BCC last week. And we're ending today with Rhea Ripley, who has dominated since turning heel earlier this year, and it's not just the current roster she's after. On last week's Raw, Ripley was confronted by Beth Phoenix, and a match between the two may be in the works. In a tweet, Ripley vowed that she was going to bring some hell to the Glamazon, but the former Raw Women's Champion's tweet was quickly deleted. No explanation has been given as to why Ripley would delete the tweet, though some have speculated that WWE pulled the tweet as it's giving away plans the company already has. For what it's worth, Ripley and Phoenix are rumored to face off this Saturday in a 6-person tag match including the Judgment Day, Edge, and Rey Mysterio, but it may just be a matter of time before Ripley and the Glamazon square off one-on-one. And we're ending today with Ty Mello and Sammy Guevara, who got married earlier this year after an incredibly quick dating period. It wasn't too long ago that Guevara proposed to his then-girlfriend Pam Nizio before an episode of AEW Dynamite, and some have speculated that the former TNT champion started dating Mello during that engagement. Speaking in a recent interview with Denise Salcido, Mello was asked about her relationship and made it clear she doesn't have time to hear what people have accused her of. "I know who I am and I know I did nothing wrong, people just talking shit." Mello went on to say that 2021 ended on a sour note for her, as people accused her of being a homewrecker, which hurt, as she had until then been having the best year of her career. Speaking about Nizio, Mello said that she and Guevara have kept a good friendship and that Pam was one of the first people to check on them after fans accused them of betraying her. In the end, Mello is married to Guevara, and both are happy in that relationship, no matter what some people have to say about it. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.